Welcome to Faith, Family, and Music Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Howard, and thank you so much for joining. If you joined on YouTube or whatever platform, hopefully everybody had a great day today. Man, so glad to be on here. This is the first episode of Faith, Family, and Music. All right. So thanks for joining again. So this podcast really just made for not just musicians, not if you're an artist, nor if you're a singer. This is just dealing with just music in a general standpoint of if you are a musician or somehow your music brought you to the faith or just is it something your family was involved in when you was a child or either just your faith. I'm a believer of Christ, and I really believe with music, especially worship music and worship music that points to Christ. It's just a way for us to connect and worship him. So tonight, we're just gonna go over the base of this podcast. Just really some questions that I kind of just kind of not research, but I actually went to Chat GBT and just posed some questions, and then I got some friends musically that's either musicians in church or they're artists or just random questions. So this is a collective of questions I'm gonna just put out there, and I'll try to answer some of them best I can. But if you want, you can put in the chat. If you got any questions or anything in that nature. So let's see if we can get into it. So the first question says, faith and music. How does your personal faith influence your musical creations and worship? For people that are, in artistry or they are Christian singers or gospel singers, like how do you incorporate your faith in your worship? I'll say for me, and then you can put it in the chat. I say for me, definitely, it starts out with a relationship with Christ. It definitely starts. It starts there. The purity of it starts there. I seen a video of Jermaine Dupri, who's a music producer in Atlanta. I think his record company is called So So Def, and he's produced some big secular artists. I think from Lil Bow Wow, Brad, and the list kind of go on and on. And he said this from a secular standpoint. He said the music is not the same is because we don't have groups like it was in the backseat. People don't understand a lot of R&B young groups and stuff. Most of those young kids, they sung in church. That's where they got their roots and foundation from. And he said himself that it doesn't have any spirituality. And I was like, wow, that says a lot when it comes from somebody that's pretty much produced secular music. He said that it doesn't have purity in it no more because they don't have that weight from what you learn in church. And so to me, that just goes down to still back to relationship and what you learn in church. And even though I started out as a kid, and in church you do learn those foundations because it comes from a pure heart, and you grow up with that intent. But then over time, through life experiences and world experiences and work experiences. And if you started, a family early or however that trajectory started in your journey, it changes a lot. And so you always have to find yourself reconnecting with Christ to be able to center yourself. It's like you have to recenter yourself every so often. God is calling you to recenter yourself, and I can definitely speak to that. He could have you to recenter yourself. So, second question, and I'm not gonna go in order, but I'll just throw some randoms. Family support. Can you share how your family support has shaped your musical journey, work life, and home life? Um, for me, I think because my when it comes to family support, I started at my father's church. I started at my father's church on drums. and it went back and forth. I went from drums, I went to saxophone, and then I went to piano because I didn't really play piano. My mom played piano, and so I mostly was on the drums. My older brother was on the drums. He's the one that really put the first pair of sticks in my hand. And I remember I was at LO. I'm from Atlanta, so shout out to LO Kimberly Elementary School. I sing Thorough High Marching Band, and so that lets you know that was in the '80s, and they were really good at that time, and they were pretty big at that time too. And so I sing my first marching band. I'll say up close and front then. So that kind of started my process. Like I'm gonna be a drummer, and so he gave me my first pair of sticks, and he used to let me. He didn't let me play on Sunday morning, but he did let me play like Sunday nights or you know times that he deemed not playing. That wouldn't get him in trouble. But after that, my cousin started playing. He was older than me, and he was better than me. At the time, he was better than me, and I always practice hard just so we can be equal. And because he had that experience level on me, man, he was good. Like uh, my cousin played like similar to like Tony Rosser. He played like that, but in the '80s. Like his drumming is on a different was on a different level at that age, and I practiced just to be like as either good as him or play just like him. So family support has always been there because family is where I started music. And then my younger brother, yeah, he runs circles around me now. Like now, I'm just more of you want to say the teacher, like let me teach you rudiments type, and I play a little bit. But yeah, he's the drummer now, and I think let's see, when I got to middle school, my band teacher said it's too many drummers, play something else, and I started playing saxophone. Then after that, um, I played that for like 2 or 3 years. Eighth grade, he had me back on drums, and he ended up actually um, helping me go to Mays High School. That's where I graduated from in Atlanta, the illustrious Mays High School, and you know Mays High School. All right, and so best band in the land. Um, we all, me and my younger brother, both graduated from Mays. My other brother, he went to Tharrell. You know, he was good. He was good. I think he was in the brass section. So, like, all of us have been like just musically inclined. Like younger brother to the middle brother, like all of us have been somewhere musically inclined. And then growing up in church, my younger brother, he went from brass to playing bass to playing lead and then now he plays keys so a little so he's like just learned a lot. And then my younger brother, he's trying to go over to the keys side too. Most drummers end up going over the keys, so they all have been just I think our family has supported music because we all have became music inside the church. um and it said, how has it shaped your musical journey, work life, and home life? Musical journey. Let me speak to that. My musical journey is not extensive as other people. I'll say my journey pretty much was mostly in houses of worship, from my father's church to um, Church of Chapel Hill. Then I became a musical director at the Go Church, and then played at other couple churches here and there, and then all the way up here to where I'm at now in Charlotte. So it's really been the gateway or highway to me being able to play in different places. Um, Work life, yeah, I had to learn that a little bit because when I was younger, um, I would stay up late hours just to learn a lick or just to learn a chord. Or sometimes while I'm learning, it was like God's presence would meet me there. You know, while I'm learning, I would be praying. I would pull out my Bible and read, and ask God, like, help break this chord down so I could learn it the best as I can. So I think as a worship or minstrel in the house of worship, your skill does not override the presence. And sometimes we see that a lot where our skill set overrides and we gleam on that, but definitely it does not override presence. So and then like I said, like you have work life balance, you have to have a musician life balance, especially when you begin to build a family. I'll say definitely single. Yeah, you can stay up all night, go to every musician set shed, and go to all that stuff. But later on in life, when you begin to start building a family, you definitely have to have work balances, work life balance or musician life balance, being able to put things in perspective and say, okay, at this time on this day, hey, family time. Then these days I practice. Then this time, you definitely have to break that up. Um, when it comes to, let's see, another question: challenges overcome. Have you faced challenges in your career that tested your faith, and how did you overcome it? I got to think on this one. I definitely have to think on this one. Uh, let's see. I mean, out there in the chat, if you could think of some, please put it in. Um, put a like, share. But what challenges have I overcome? I've overcome. I'm s- I'm an overcomer. I'll say it that way because challenges come every day, every week, every hour, and you have to persevere with your faith, your family, and definitely Jesus. The scriptures, whatever that points to Christ, definitely overcome it. Um, overcome it all through our faith, through our word, through our testimonies, the blood of the Lamb, all that. We have to be overcomers and can't be defeated or let the enemy defeat us. Um, so I say challenges I face, some personal, you know, I, some personal that overcome was overcoming, let's just say for me, thinking about different things in life where I really wish I've reached a certain level or a certain height in certain things and not beating myself up because I haven't got there quicker than others. But I just continue to study what I know and just continue to try to grow as much as you can. I'll leave it as that. Um, let's see. Hmm. Let's see. Advice for aspiring musicians. What advice would I give to young musician artists trying to navigate their faith, family expectations, and musical ambitions? I would say for you young musicians, keep your heart pure. I'm 43, be 44 this year. Out of the 43 years that I've lived on this earth, I would say keep your heart pure because when it's not, then you have to fight against all those things that have changed it. And when I say changed it, I'm talking about the walk of life, maybe pains that you wouldn't have had to go through, or either uh, issues you would not have to go through, navigating and realizing that Jesus is your source. And I would just say, keep a pure heart, um, and everything will be added unto you. That's what I would say for the younger me. If I could start that over again, the younger me, keep your heart pure and keep everything that's negative, everything that seems I'll even say this. The scripture say everything that seems right is not right. It's not. Everything, everything, especially when you're young, your mind is thinking and you're like, okay, well, I can't do this. Now I'm 43. I realize why I can't do that or why I did not do that. But the best teachers our parents used to say is experience, and experience will teach you. Experience will teach you. Keep God first. Keep your faith, your family, um, and be the best that you can be. Whether you are, young musician, because a young musician that's a father, or however you deem it, just make sure you do the best that you can and you're not doing it halfly. Musical ambitions. At one point, I'll say in my life, because I was young and I think my generation was the generation that brought forth YouTube, or I'll say we was the wave of YouTube. And we used to learn a lot watching talented musicians. One guy, I got to shout out his name. And if you don't know him as a pianist, his name is Jamal Hartwell. He brought out this album or a DVD long time ago. I learned a lot from that DVD, and I said I was going to rebuy it because it's some nuggets that he left on there that I haven't seen out of anybody else tutorial. Jamal Hartwell, thank you so much because you really impacted the gospel community with your tutorials and your teachings, brother. Um, and I think we're gonna be probably close to our last question. Um, who were some or specific family members or mentors who inspired you in your passion for music? Well, I just said Jamal Hartwell. Another person that inspired me, I'll say my mom and my brother, because those were the first two people close that I seen playing instruments. Um, Next, I would have to add Fred Hammond, the group Commission. Um, the list can go on there, but definitely Fred Hammond played a big role in my worship journey and still does. I know we got new artists like Chandler Moore and all, Maverick City and stuff, but definitely Fred Hammond was a big staple in my life. Growing up to a young man and having music that related to men, man, Fred and Commission was it. So definitely that. Definitely that. So I'm not gonna hold you because we're at the end of our podcast. It's just a short podcast, an intro to what's to come. Hopefully, we'll be having different other artists joining. I'm excited about these other artists. Not gonna name them. You have to come back and find out who they are. But I got some artists that are actually a part um, of my family, so I'm looking forward to him coming on. Then another young guy. I've watched all these young guys grow like from a child all the way up and where they at musically and their family and faith is crazy. Another gentleman that I know of, he just received a Grammy, so I'll let him share his story. But hopefully we can get everybody on, and I'm looking forward to more podcasts from faith, family, and music. Outside of that, everybody have a great evening and look forward to showing you more from our podcast.